as it turns out, ChatGPT is a compulsive liar when it comes to accuracy as a newspaper research assistant, and Claude's doing a pretty good job of distinguishing between what it knows and what it doesn't know and telling you the truth about that. I still don't understand exactly how or why it's working, but it is, and that's cool. So anyway, next I wanted to move on to is I wanted to spend a little bit of time playing around with the start of my prompt library, where I've been trying to store. I'll show my list here, and I'll give the better view in a second. As I browse the web over the last year or more, I've just, that looks like an interesting prompt. That looks like an interesting prompt, and I'll just store things in Tana that I haven't had time to really play with yet. So I thought I might take a look around here for a few minutes. But I'm curious about this one. I haven't thought about this one well. All points of view discusser. Show me all points of view on a given subject. Can be a person, place, thing, or topic. Please make a persona for each point of view. If possible, pick a real person who's an expert at the point you pick them for. Please join all these people into a group. Please have them discuss X. All right, that's a cool prompt. I'm going to give you another chance, chat. Got to dance with the one who brought me. Chat, can you give me a list of topics that are important and would make for interesting discussions that are related to international politics and people getting along around the world? I don't know if I want to get into specific politics, but let's change that from international politics to international relations. Come on. Okay, I'm seeing a wall of text. Please change that into a table form. Okay. Role of AI in diplomacy, global migration, climate change, cybersecurity threats. Cultural diplomacy. Using cultural exchange as a tool for peace. Global health initiatives. Could you expand on cultural diplomacy? Cultural. From the list above. Cultural diplomacy refers to the use of cultural assets such as art, music, sports, education, heritage to promote mutual understanding, goodwill, and cooperation between countries. It aims to foster peaceful international relations by highlighting shared human experiences and values. Okay, I like this idea of improving image and influence abroad through non-coercive means. That resonates with me. This knowledge article is going to be tweaked towards knowledge work, but it still might be useful because it'll automatically pull for me if there's a Wikipedia page for it. So first thing I'm going to do, I like to get the banner up because it's fun. And it also gives me an idea of what's out there in the mishmash. For concepts related to it or thoughts about it. Okay, well, we'll stick with that for now. Actually, this pulled banner image here feels like a better use for me anyway. I hesitate a lot of times to use full faces in some of these images that come through. I know a lot of the image creating ability from DALL-E comes from scraping, so I want to respect real artists. But what I'm really just looking for is illustrations as a backdrop. Okay, so we're going to use my custom prompt called AI lookup concept, or ask it for a 400 to 500 word article on a given subject. Oh, and that's the good thing about my prompt on this. It actually asks for authors. So here's what I do when I go through the knowledge articles I've covered previous times. I try to highlight the most important points so that if I come back to this, I instantly see the kind of the heart, the kernel of what the subject matter is about. This form of diplomacy emphasizes engagement through cultural expression, facilitating soft power and creating avenues for negotiation outside traditional diplomatic channels. All right, so I want to highlight it differently, not the whole thing, because there was a piece in there that came out. Facilitating soft power and creating avenues for negotiation outside traditional diplomatic channels. That's an interesting little part right there. I like having two different levels of highlight or multiple levels of highlight. So you can say that the whole thing was important, but also this one phrase is what I want my eyes to go right back to if I come back to this. So I'm going to skim this again real quick. It has its roots reaching back to ancient times. So let's tag these three as authors. All right. For a more detailed understanding of cultural diplomacy, you can visit the Wikipedia article on cultural diplomacy. Okay, yeah, there is a real Wikipedia page for it, and my Tana prompt helped me find it. Cultural relations grow naturally and organically without government intervention. The transactions of trade and tourism, student flows, communication, book circulation. Okay, that's a good quote there for what our original exercise is going to be. Richard T. Arndt. So I'm going to pull him in. And put his quote here. And I need to get his name. I want to spell him right. I'm sure I don't have him as an author yet. Okay, so we're going to turn this into a quote. Let me set him as author. Okay, so let's read this quote again. Let's give it a banner. That'd be fun. Because this is the idea that I kind of had in my head when I heard that term of cultural diplomacy. I don't know if that's fine. I just okay. So let's take this back out to our original exercise that we were going to do. Okay, let's see if these instructions, just the way I pasted over. Maybe I should do this because this is the way I see a lot of things written. Okay, show me all points of view on topic. Can be a person, place, thing, or anything. Please make a persona for each point of view. Please have them discuss. Take out the author's commentary here. What should be emphasized or avoided in discussions? Specific politicians and political parties should be avoided in discussions. I like that it asked that. Let's see where it's going. This is doing some great stuff. So it's rebuilding itself. Okay, what it had a second ago, I don't know if you caught that, but it had taken my 4 questions and had them as the original prompts when they're actually the steps. And then it saw that there was some type of a problem with doing that, which there is a problem with doing that. Or those need to be sequential steps, not separate choosable steps. It appears there's a persistent issue with the prompt starters field. Since this might be related to internal constraints, I'll proceed with the rest of the behavior settings without prompt starters for now. Okay. Let's try it. So I want to choose the topic of cultural diplomacy. Can you show me all the comments in table view? I know I'm stuck on this, but for some reason it just makes it a lot easier to look at. If I see it kind of coming through like text messages or something like that, it just blocks it out. Okay, so we got Maria Alvarez, a cultural diplomat. Dr. John Chen, an international relations scholar. We got Aisha Hassan, a cultural critic. Elena Petrova from an NGO. Okay, now we got a business leader. Cultural diplomacy aligns with CSR initiatives. Okay. Maria Alvarez, a cultural diplomat. What? How many people did we get here? Hold on. Dr. John Chen says, can de-escalate tensions by promoting mutual respect. If that's correct, cultural diplomacy can only be said to take place when formal diplomats serving national governments try to shape and channel this natural flow to advance national interests. Okay, I got to go back to my article listing here on culture. Cultural diplomacy can only be said to take place when they try to shape and channel this natural flow to advance national interests. So, oops. Okay, because when I think about cultural diplomacy, I'm thinking on a person-to-person level of these daily interactions, and this seems to be talking about turning that to advance national interests. So that seems like where the conversation could get interesting. All right, let's see what comes out. How do I move this? Okay, we'll try this again. I have a quote from an author that I want each of the persona members to comment on and discuss. I'll put that quote in. Let's see what happens. Oh, I thought I just did that. Here's the quote. In fact, I know I just did that. You just didn't get it. Cultural relations grow naturally, organically. I like the old version a little bit better. I thought we had something that was working perfect. Okay. The quote emphasizes the organic nature of cultural relations, which I agree with. However, cultural diplomacy plays a crucial role in formalizing and enhancing these interactions. By shaping and channeling these natural flows, we can create strategic cultural partnerships that benefit, again, national interests. That's a cultural attaché. I see the point in the quote about natural cultural connections. However, governments often overlook the grassroots aspect, which NGOs emphasize. Cultural diplomacy should support and amplify these organic connections rather than control or manipulate them for national interests. It's kind of asking nations not to be nations, but I get the point. Academic expert. The quote highlights a key distinction between organic cultural relations and formal diplomacy. Take out the word culture and say organic relations and formal diplomacy. While natural interactions are foundational, governments can leverage these to project soft power. The challenge is to do so without appearing to exploit these interactions solely for national gain. So there's the tension. So there's a lack of alignment between people having the interactions and what the governments want to do about it. Okay, let's see what the artist performer has to say. Let's see what the business leader has to say, because I think what he says is probably going to piss some people off. From a business perspective, natural cultural exchanges through trade and tourism are vital. However, cultural diplomacy can enhance these interactions by creating a favorable environment for the international business and fostering economic ties. aligned with national interests. Okay, local community leader. This is who I wanted to hear from. The quote rightly underscores the importance of organic cultural interactions. Government led cultural diplomacy should be careful not to overshadow or diminish the authenticity of the local cultures. Okay, one thing that happened that was good here is they started responding to each other. Okay, so I'm going to go through here and read these because I want to see how they're interacting. Cultural diplomacy is an essential tool for international relations, extends beyond mere cultural exchange to strategically promote mutual understanding and collaboration. By sharing aspects of culture, such as art, music, literature, countries can create positive image, reducing misunderstandings. Michael Johnson, I agree. As a cultural attaché, I've seen firsthand how it can open doors. Aisha Rahman, that's an important point, Michael. From my experience, cultural diplomacy should not be one sided or a form of cultural imperialism. It's vital to engage in two-way exchange where both parties have the opportunity to share and learn from each other. I agree with Aisha. In our cultural exchange programs, we prioritize reciprocity and equal partnership. Sophia Garcia, in conflict regions, cultural diplomacy can be a powerful tool for peace building. Our NGO focuses on bringing together people from opposing sides through cultural projects like arts, theater projects. Okay. Well, I'm going to continue to play with this and edit it. I think it's a great idea. Again, that came out of just kind of some saved prompt ideas that I just pulled off online. I can also see this working its way into Tana, but I need to do a little bit more work with it to get that super tag set up. So, all right, well, we're at time for today, and I'll put the highlights out with links in the newsletter in this coming week. We will be on a brief hiatus next Saturday. I'll be traveling, but should be in. Let's see, the following week. We'll be out on the 20th, but I should be back on July 27th. So hope everybody has a great day and stay at it. Take care.